Well, hello and happy Thursday. Happy Thursday to each and every one of you. God bless you, each and every one. Hello. Happy Thursday. It is a blessed Thursday, is it not? Yes, there's a lot going on. There's a lot going on. The war needs to come to an end. There's a lot we could say about that. Everybody could like, subscribe, and share. That would be awesome. Where's my notes? Where are my notes, people? How could I come here without my notes? So, do you want the lowdown scoop on what's really going on? Do you feel like you've gone crazy? Are there things that just don't make sense? Well, then, gosh darn it, you've come to the right place because I am the remote viewer extraordinaire that's here to give you a different perspective, and we're free to agree to disagree because that's what we do here on the channel. And do not attack me. Some of you have been rather mean. When you don't get what you want, you children become very, very um, naughty. Yes, you do. You get a bit. You want things, you want them now. You don't get them, and then you get all feisty on me. All right, first things first, how's the sound? The miracle has happened. The miracle has happened. Do not fear the reaper, as they say. Yes, I'm in my favorite Egyptian nightgown. I got this from an Egyptian man from Upper Egypt. A pretty little thing he was. Yes, my my pen pal. Yes, I had a pen pal in Egypt. We taught him English. Yes. Anyway, he became one of his gosh darn it American citizens, and now he's one of us. And he voted for Harris. It was the first time he had had a chance to vote in a U.S. election. Anyway, he thanked me for helping him on his English exams and gave me a gift from Egypt, and I wear it often. Oh, so what happened? You guys want to just hear what happened? You want to just know the truth because I can tell you the truth. Do you want the truth? Because I got the truth. I got the truth if you can handle it. All right. So basically what happened was that the Republican Party is a brand and the Republican Party was in trouble. All right, so sit down. You're going to hear the story of the transforming or ever-changing Republican Party. It's changed. It's gone through multiple changes. Excuse me. I'm recovering from a cold. It's actually pretty much gone, but I still do have my drinks here. Cheers, cheers, cheers. So we're going to talk about how everything crazy is happening and how a lot of it is not as bad as you think it's going to be. Okay, so before we start all of that, I do want to announce, yes, sometimes twice a year I get a cold and then everybody freaks out because I do have asthma also. Is it allergic asthma I have? What do I have? I don't know. The point is I got to get something for my nose. It's about the time it happens. Moisture, mold, you name it, cold. We persevere. Okay, you guys want the truth. Can you handle the truth, or am I going to get yelled at again? I want to entertain you guys, but I also want to tell you what I think is really going on. I'll try not to cough in the microphone, but coughs come up, you know. When you get a little bit of a tickle in your cough, it just comes up. You can't always control. Don't cough in the microphone. I'll try not to. All right, so what happened was that DC had become increasingly gridlocked. Okay, here's the story of what happened. But before we get to all of that, I want to remind you of our Book of the Month Club. Yeah, it's our Book of the Month Club. The True Nature of Energy. Diane Wing. She'll be in our studios at 6:30 Tuesday night with Chuck Dransfield. We'll be talking about this book. There's still time for you to get it. You can get it on Amazon. If you have a book that you would like to contribute to our Book of the Month Club, excuse me, and you'd like it to be considered for our Book of the Month Club, you can send it to 1819 Southwest 5th Avenue, Suite 116, Portland, Oregon, 97201. That's care of Dr. Whimsy Anderson. The information is below. All right. Is everybody ready to sit down and hear the tale of what the hell has happened? You guys want to hear the truth of what happened? Because I can give it to you. I can tell you exactly what happened. You ready? Make yourself a cup of tea or coffee. Take a seat. Be sure and share, like, subscribe. Let's get this party started. Okay, so what happened was that DC became increasingly gridlocked with every time a new group of lawmakers would come in, they would create a new group of laws to control or oversee a particular problem. And then that would create a problem which would require more oversight and another group of people to come in and do oversight. And then that required oversight, which required another group of people to do oversight. And so what happened was you had oversight committees for oversight committees for oversight committees, and you had state laws and city laws and all these laws. So that what happened was a massive gridlock and problems began to emerge with trade. Some of what business people did in order to bypass all the US gridlock, all of these laws, was they simply decided to move some of their operations outside the United States where other governments were not as controlling, that it wasn't so. Laws are a very good thing. Laws protect the consumers from things like radiation and car crashes, and we want consumer protections. We want things in place. But what started to increasingly happen was that the laws became so great that nothing in DC could get done. There was a dueling between two parties, the Republicans and the Democrats, and many of them were pretty much having the same exact argument, because what happened was that we couldn't attract American businesses because everybody was going overseas to bypass all of the US restrictions. So along comes business people out of Silicon Valley who were making a ton of money for the United States. Now, to put this in perspective, they own 1/5 of the world's wealth. I want you guys to digest that for a minute. While I take another sip of my coffee. California owns 1/5 of the world's wealth. Yes or no? Where is the majority of the wealth concentrated? Farming, film and TV, and Silicon Valley. What are some of the main investments of Silicon Valley? The new green capitalism, getting capitalist production out, getting CO2 emissions capped, That's what RFK Jr. is big on, getting companies to cap their CO2. Same with Elon Musk. Tesla is able to help companies cap their CO2 emissions. They sell CO2 capping, etc. So what happened was you had two political parties, and one was in serious economic trouble, which was the Republican Party. And so because of the gridlock, which was preventing business from happening internationally, because everything was a mess, Silicon Valley decided to come in as investors. And I want you guys to digest this. All right. Number one, we're talking about the fifth of the US economy is coming out of California. We digest that. Next thing I want you guys to digest is that Silicon Valley bought the Republican Party. Okay, so if things seem different, if you don't understand why more people aren't screaming and ranting and raving, it's because Silicon Valley bought the Republican Party. Now, what is that going to look like in the coming years? Because the Republican Party was going bankrupted. There were people leaving the Republican Party in droves. They were not attracting younger Republicans. They had an aging superstar who was in diapers. The future of the Republican Party did not look good. They needed a new investor. So in walked the Silicon Valley team and said, they opened up their briefcases. They looked at how much do you need to be solvent? How much do you need for us? How much do we need to put in to bail out our investment, the Republican Party? Say I give you $111 million to bail out the Republican Party and to help your lead act, Donald Trump, who you've just dusted off and put back on the vaudeville stage. Say I put $111 million into this. What are you going to do for me? Well, we're going to give you the capacity to end the gridlock that prevented you from doing business in DC and abroad, trade routes. And so that's what happens. Peter Thiel and Elon Musk put their money on the table and said, we can give you $111 million. And in exchange, we want you to put us in a situation where we can cut down some of the gridlock and blocks that are preventing us from getting anything done in DC. It shouldn't take 10 years to build a solar house in California because of too many regulations. So what Elon Musk did is he and Till bought the Republican Party. And so now, because they own the Republican Party, a large chunk of it, they now have to fight with other people who own shares of the Republican Party. Does everybody get this? So who else owns the Republican Party? Evangelical Christian white males own a sizable percentage, right? Well, this is our church. This is our heritage, right? So you now have a new boy on there. Well, where did he come from? Well, that's Elon Musk. Well, he's not an evangelical Christian. Didn't he say his religion was curiosity? So you have people coming together who don't like each other, people coming together who have different political views. And so what's going to happen as a result of Silicon Valley buying the RNC? Well, the first thing that you're going to see is you're going to see the birth of, in the next 4 to 6 months, the Republican Party is going to start talking to you about green capitalism. In the next 5 to 6 months, they're going to start talking to you about green capitalism. So what is green capitalism? Those are companies that that produce products that actually improve not only the lives of people, but benefit the planet. So an example would be where you plant a tree that produces CO2 for the earth, but also produces fruits that we can eat. And so the more we care for Gaia, the more we care for the earth, the more wealthy we become. This is the principles of green capitalism. So green capitalism is what California is banking on, and it transforms the new Republican Party into a type of capitalism that didn't exist before, that is closer partnered with uh, environmentalists, so that we don't get rid of the environmental blocks, but we acknowledge that we have a problem, Houston, and we need to fix it. So, do I think, when I put myself in the shoes of Elon Musk, I am an impatient person. I am an impatient person. When you remote view Elon Musk, okay, he is an impatient person. And he wants it now, and he doesn't want to be told what to do, and he doesn't want, if he sees a great idea, somebody comes along and says, if Elon Musk says, well, I got to get my trade out, and I can't get it out because there's too much gridlock, and then somebody comes up with a plan to get out the trade, then he'll be all for that, because it's something that's going to get the trade moving, because his whole thing is about getting the trade moving and not obstructing trade, right? So that's the whole issue. And so that was why he went with the Republican Party. So back at the saddle, how did I get curious about this person before all this crazy crap went down? It had to do with me writing a proposal. I wrote a proposal which involved trade. Why are there problems with Gaza? Because of the Suez Canal, and they're fighting over trade. And the Israelis do not want to take Gaza. We left in 2005. I'm an Israeli. We left because we don't want Gaza. We don't want to have to supply healthcare to 2 million point something million people. But the mistake that the Israelis made was that they pulled out without a peace treaty with the government. And so the rebuild is an attempt to rebuild Gaza and create a government that is going to be working alongside Israel, is going to be allies of Israel. And you can end war, right? So this is a concept that was very, very attractive to Elon Musk, because it goes back to what his big issue is, which is gridlock. So when he went to Israel, they were sitting around at the IDF War Cabinet reading this proposal, because this proposal had come in. It had just come in, and it was sitting at the table. It had just come in and was sitting at the table of the IDF because Jonathan Congress, the spokesperson for the IDF, got it to them. And he got it to them because it was given to him on October 21st. Guys, start to see what's happening? Is things starting to come together a little bit for you? Are you getting a eureka moment? So then I did what they said. We want to consider your proposal. The Israeli Defense Forces want to consider your proposal. So let's take a look at it. Well, here's the proposal. It's coalesced data. It's 2.5 pages. And it's based on, similar to the Marshall Plan. Well, can you draw a picture? Because Elon Musk, and we're engineers, the Army Corps of Engineers, we need to see, Whimsy, what you're talking about. Well, I'm not an artist. Well, we know you're not an artist, but just let Elon see what you're talking about. We need to see it. Well, we would create safe zones between the border of Israel and Gaza, and they would be like kibbutzes, and we would organize trade, and then I guess the subway system and the boron would be underneath, and that would allow for safe trade, and this would be part of the Abraham Accords, and security would be supplied by the Middle East. And I even made it a beautiful pearl necklace for Elon Musk.
Hi, my honor.
Hi, nice meeting you. Good, how are you?
A beautiful pearl necklace. So if it's going to be a beautiful pearl necklace, that means it all has to be brought together, right? It all has to be, if you're going to have different oases doing different things, then they all have to be brought together theoretically by this underground road system, which Elon wanted to be a part of. I don't know what's happening here. Something else is going on here. That's not what I wanted. So when you do this, like I said, it had to be a pearl necklace, right? It was going to be a pearl necklace. Pearl necklace. Watch the hand movements. Watch the hand movements. You're going to know everything in a very short amount of time. Trust me. Watch the hand movements. How y'all doing? So they got together and they created a peace proposal, but the problem was there were too many blocks. There were too many blocks between what the Democrats wanted to do and what the Republicans were wanting to do. And in the case of the Democrats, they were going back and forth and they were not able to secure a deal with Hamas. And unfortunately, it went on for a very, very long time. And people felt that the only way to get past the gridlock was that a new political party had to come in that was going to be able to save face, because we couldn't continue to escalate the situation. We couldn't continue to tell people, we couldn't continue to threaten and escalate the tensions in the war, because it was only going to lead to World War III. So when Musk and Till came in, they said, screw this. We're going to buy this. We're going to retell the story. We're going to go in and renegotiate with Iran. And we're going to try and get resolution of the trade routes another way. So that, because if something doesn't happen, this is going to lead to World War III. And so what happened was Simi Valley went in and they attempted to renegotiate. And so one of the things that Elon did when he was meeting with Iran, UN ambassadors, et cetera, was renegotiating not only the trade routes, but he was renegotiating release of the hostages, which are currently being held by Hamas in Israel. This is what I believe is happening right now. This is why Elon is meeting with Iran right now. We will give you a piece of the pie, but you have to begin to make peace with the Israelis, and you have to pull Hamas out of Israel. Why does Elon think that he can do this now? Because Iran is weak. And we have that and that evidence for you. Show me the evidence, doctor. That evidence is right here. And this is the continuation of the proposal. And you can see it was sent to the Israeli War Cabinet. And that was on December, was it 19th? And we can see step 5 that Elon and the IDF got was to dismantle Iranian leadership and not make a deal with them if they didn't have, if we weren't able to get peace with them because they were a threat to the region. So this is steps 5 and 6 of the dismantling of Iranian leadership. And so what we're seeing here after they bought the GOP is now they're moving towards dismantling Iranian leadership and getting the hostages released. How do I personally feel about it? Well, that's one way to bypass political gridlock is you simply buy another political party. And that's what he did. Do I think it's right? Do I think that I don't like gridlock, the fact that it takes, excuse me, it takes forever for anything to get done. If you take a look at what Elon Musk is saying, he's saying if we had gone with the if we had gone with the Democrats, Whimsy, if we had done what you wanted, Whimsy, and gone with the Democrats, we'd be still talking about a 2-state solution with the Democrats in another 30 years because there was just too much gridlock. Love me or hate me, this was the fastest way we could do it. This is the fastest way we could get Iran to the table. This is the fastest way we could get to the rebuild. Do I think that he's a Republican? No, he's a libertarian. Do I think he cares about? No, I don't think he's a Christian. I think that he's an agnostic. I think he believes that this is all a simulation. I think that he believes this is the fastest way to get trade out. I think that he believes that it was out of control, that the regulations were out of control, and that they needed to come in and tear the whole thing down because nothing could get done. It was out of control regulation. I think that my next prediction is that you should not underestimate Elon Musk's importance in the new political party, in the new GOP, because he bought and paid for it, him and Peter Thiel, which means that it's his party. In terms of some of the stuff he supports as a libertarian, he's not going to take away your Social Security. In fact, they're probably going to make it so that you don't have to pay taxes on your tips. The problem is that the taxes on the tips was supposed to go to your FICA, which was supposed to pay for your Social Security. So they're going to have to change things around. The reason I know he won't do that is because he believes in a mandatory payment for people because artificial intelligence is eliminating work for humans. And so humans have to be supplied basic needs because he believes that jobs will be phased out in a very short amount of time. So he's openly said that AI should work for us and then we can sit around studying or whatever, but we should be guaranteed a monthly salary. He supports that. You've got to respect the cojones of somebody that would do something like this, that would simply go in and buy a political party. I think there's a lot I have morally and ethically wrong with. Handing people $1 million in order to vote for Trump. Yes, I have a lot of moral and ethical problems. At the same time, wow, what a crazy way to take control of a situation is to simply buy a country or buy a government or buy a political party. And I'm pretty sure he's pro-choice. But here is the other problem that we're talking about, which has to do with the relationship between the government and the state. Am I still here? Yes. Oh, thank you, Darren Williams, Fairy and Angels. Much welcome, much welcome. Okay, but now we're having another problem. Let's talk about the other problem we're having here, because we've got a couple more problems. And that has to do with the Republican view of the states, GOP view. Of the states. So if they do what they want to do and they say it's to become too big, now there's a department for the Department of Education. Now there's a department for the Department of Education. It's out of control. We can't afford this. Well, that's all well and good. And then he takes his references to a legitimate department, because he's not a legitimate department, but he owns the GOP, which for all intents and purposes, he's going to tell them what to do and they're going to do it because I pay your salary. I got you all in office, right? So I don't think we should underestimate just how powerful Elon Musk and how important he is. And I think it's very likely that we could see major changes in political views at the GOP because of it. But they believe that what I was going to say about the GOP is that they view the states as female and the mama. You have the mama and the papa. So if you're looking at the stereotypical mucho macho male way of looking at things, the papa is the feds and the mama is the states. And so what do the Republicans like doing? They like dumping everything, all their problems on women, right? All their problems on the mama. They don't want to deal with gridlock. They don't want to deal with oversight. They don't want to deal with education. So they're just going to get rid of it. You ever had taking care of a young kid that tries to hide their dirt when you tell them to clean your room, and they look and they put it in the most stupid places? Have you ever babysat a 9-year-old boy, a 10-year-old boy? And you look and it's the same places. They take all of their clothes and they put it in the bed, and they put the bed. I used to do this stuff too, incidentally. And then my sister would pull back the sheet and see all the clothes and everything. No, you really have to clean your room, Whimsy, right? Oh, Mila is having her nap. So the takeaway here is that Elon Musk and Peter Thiel and the Republican Party are like the little boy that doesn't want to clean their room. They're going to send everything to the states, which means what? The states are going to have to increase state taxes in order to pay for the stuff that the feds are no longer paying. And that includes homelessness. So if you don't want to increase state income taxes in Texas, you'll just force homeless people to go to California, which has higher state taxes. So the way that they're dealing with everything is by sending the bouncing ball somewhere else. I don't think that they will intrude on states' rights as much as people think, so much as they want to have control over the political parties. But, they like the fact that Republicans have gained ground in California because of the Latino vote, for example. No, Web Shiva, it was Gridlock because Hamas, which is a terrorist organization, that raped and savagely killed hundreds of people, wants to continue to rape, kill, pillage, and hold the Gazan people and the Israelis hostage. And maybe the Republicans felt that the Democrats were being too nice, or that because of the commitments that the Democrats had to their constituents, they had to be nice. Whereas the Republicans feel no need to be nice. They are not trying to starve the people of Gaza to death, but they're trying to starve out Hamas so that they come out of their bunkers and surrender to the IDF. They're starving them out because the food that was being distributed was being taken from the people and given to the terrorists. The terrorists were stealing the food. So it was going on and on and on, months and months and months, and then giving food, and then the terrorists would come and eat it, and then the children would cry that they were hungry, and then everybody would blame the Jews because everything's the fault of the Jews, right? Even when the Nazis do it, right? It's always the fault of the Jews. So it became this back and forth. And so what happened when the Republicans took charge is that they said, okay, the party's over, daddy's home. That was the terminology they used. And it was this idea that they were going to come in and they were going to mop the floor with these folks. Either you get a deal with us or you're not going to be part of the Abraham Accords. Because what you care about, this happened yesterday. Oh, was this yesterday? Okay, so Elon met with them yesterday. And I think he's a great negotiator, Elon. And Elon does not support this government. He does not support the Iranian government. The sooner they're dismantled, the better, right? So they're going into negotiation with somebody who traditionally, he met with Ambassador Ave Suite. Okay. Yeah, so it's about hostages out, 100%. Yeah, horrible one-sided ideas. Yeah, and being critical of making any deals with Iran until so basically it's a much more hard line. But this is what also happens when you're a businessman who has security clearance. You become an ambassador to the United States, particularly if you own that political party. So this is not somebody that we elected, and I have a problem with that. Matt Gaetz isn't going anywhere because he won't be approved. Remember the dream I had about Donald Trump, where I had a dream of him came out of the White House, out of his private room, and then he was standing on the rotunda screaming like a lunatic. And I said, hey, everybody, come look. Donald Trump is out on the rotunda screaming like a lunatic. I think that's exactly what's going to happen. I think that the Republican view, here's the Republican view. You Democrats took care of Sleepy Joe for 4 years. You Democrats took care of Uncle Joe when he was loopy. We Republicans will take care of Uncle Donnie now that he's loopy. Because it doesn't matter that your candidate is senile or our candidate is senile. What matters is about pushing our agenda through. And in the end, that doesn't matter either, since we're arguing about nothing, since both of us are trying to get the same thing done. We're trying to get the hostages out, and we're trying to improve trade relations. So that's what happened. That's why he's there. That's why they went in. They saved the Republican Party, and they're now moving it towards the great democracy, the great green capitalist democracy we were always meant to have. But no, none of these crazy appointments with Matt Gaetz and stuff are going to get through. And if you ask the average Republican, they're really offended. So no, he's very disliked, Matt Gaetz. He's very disliked. Excuse me. Yes. I did a couple different math formulas. I did a couple different things. I'm an anthropologist. I'm a medical anthropologist, and I wrote a thesis. And this was a continuation of that thesis and the math, what the math looked like. You're talking about just cultural integration, etc., which is what my thesis was based on. I said that if we gave money to the Iranians, they'd wipe us out in 2.5 years. We can't make a deal under this administration. It has to be a new administration because this administration hates Israel, and you can't open up a peace treaty with a country that wants to wipe you off the face of the map. So what I said was, do not make a deal with Iran and Russia for normal relations in exchange for profits from the Abraham Accords. They're not there yet. And number 5, dismantle Iranian leadership. So if that's on the table, and I'm pretty sure it is, because this was sent in December, and I worked on my math a lot. My math is, you could cut this, this is like a samurai knife here, this data, people. I did my homework. This is the directions we're headed. So it's interesting. Step 4, Putin has to be dismantled. They're now talking about if you negotiate some kind of deal with Ukraine, there's no way to do it without taking out Putin. If you look at phase 4, right? Phases 1, 2, and 3 have already been made public. Because after they were sent to be voted on, the Israelis voted and the phases. They sent it. I sent it to the State Department and said, you should know that I've sent this to the Israelis, and I want Joe to have a copy, so that he got a copy of the 3-phase plan. So 1 is ceasefire. Number 2 was exchange of the hostages. And 3 was the rebuild. And so the fact that they went through math and said, sure, send us your math. They'll go over it and see if they agree with the math. They agreed with my math.
Has said that Israel had proposed a 3-phase ceasefire deal to the Palestinian militant group Hamas. According to Biden, American hostages would be released in the first phase of the ceasefire deal, along with women, the elderly, and the wounded, in exchange for the release of hundreds of Palestinian prisoners. Despite global outrage over an Israeli airstrike that killed at least 45 displaced Palestinian civilians in Rafah City, Israel continued its operation in Gaza. What did you think of this latest development? Let us know in the comments.
So they must have agreed with me, because they would not have adopted it if they had found fault with the math. They would not have adopted it, sent it to Israel, I sent it to the Americans as well. They would not have they already had copies of it. But the Israelis would not have approved it, and then approved for President Biden to have mentioned the first 3 phases if it hadn't gotten approved. So if that's true, then assume that they've also begun to look at the calculations for 4, 5, and 6, in which case, what is Elon Musk doing talking to the Iranians? Do you see what's bizarre here? Do you see how? So there's only one direction, which is to dismantle Iranian leadership. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to go ahead. We'll do the empath prayer. If anybody needs us to receive a healing at this time, we can go ahead but that's everything I have. You know the inside scoop, you know the dark dealings, you know everything. You know everything. You know why Elon bought the Republican Party. You know the fact that they're moving towards a new green economy. You know that the reason that Biden took the 3-state was because the IDF approved of the 5 phases that was presented in December. Evidently was approved by the War Cabinet. And you know that Elon Musk is meeting with Iran, a government he doesn't support, because they're probably going to be given an ultimatum on the hostage crisis. Yeah. That's what I got for you. It helps when you're the person that wrote the proposal, right? Well, yes, gosh darn it, I am proud of myself. Thank you very much. Wouldn't you be? Well, I did my part for humanity. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I did my part for humanity. Yes. Why do I feel like I'm going in and out here? What's the system setting? Oh, I'm connected. Yeah, I sent it to Biden and the State Department. And so once the IDF War Cabinet approved of the 3 phases, it was given to Biden, and then Biden came out with a public statement that he supported it also. You guys ready? Yes, it's fun to be me. I love living in this matrix. Sorry some of you are having a bit of a drag, but I'm having a jolly good time. I'm convinced this entire thing is a simulation. I mean, what are the statistical odds that little Whimsy would write a thesis and it would wind up in the IDF, and then Joe would be reading it, and Mr. Elon would be, come on, this is crazy. So the fact that this happened, proves to me it's all a simulation, and we should just have fun with it. Yes. Okay. You read it here first. That's right. I want to call on white light protection for myself and this community as we ask permission from Spirit to access the Akashic records. We call on our spirit guides and our good angels to be with us. Please give us the clarity and the wisdom that is needed to empower all of us on our journeys to make the best decisions for ourselves, our families, the planet, the people we love, but also to help those that we may have strife with. And together collectively as a community, we say Amen. And for those of you today who are seeking healing in your lives, for those you love and for yourselves, may you receive a perfect healing in your body, your mind, and your spirit. And together as a collectively, we come together and we say Amen. Amen to all of you. You know what? It just takes one person to change the world. Just takes one person to change the world. Maybe you've got a crazy idea for a peace proposal. Who knows? Might as well just send out your data, send it to the necessary persons, and maybe some wild, crazy person like Jonathan Conquerus will say, what the hell? I'm going to give this to the IDF. I'm going to give this to the War Cabinet. Now, this anthropologist just sent me this thing. I'm going to send copies to everyone at the IDF War Cabinet and get your opinion. Well, we've been sitting around talking about this over the weekend, and Elon Musk just showed up. Huh, Mr. Musk, that's what you're describing. This rebuild sounds an awful lot like the peace proposal we just got from this anthropologist. Would you like to take a look? Oh, you like my peace proposal, do you, Elon? My name's Netanyahu, and I wrote that peace proposal, right? So, as soon as somebody likes your idea, immediately they pretend they wrote it. But that's okay. Boys will be boys. All right. So it looks like they're talking about giving away parts of Ukraine. And, Zelensky is just not okay with this. Zelensky is not okay with some guy who's not an elected official, Elon, telling him, well, how about we just take 20%, right? That's not working really well. This is not how we usually negotiate business, right? So let's see about Russia offering a deal with Musk. What Zelensky has said is, I think you guys have underestimated how powerful I am. You're not the only country that supports our revolution. But it could be blustering, because if America stands down, it could be pressure on Britain and other NATO countries to stand down. Right now, completely in the clouds, have no idea what the hell is going on. That we don't know how it's going to end. That's the truth. If you were to ask Elon Musk, the Russians, and Zelensky how this whole thing is going to end, they would say they really don't know, because everybody wants to save face. Everybody wants to save face. It's like when things became more controlling and more controlling and more controlling until it got to the point where it was absolutely ridiculous. And then, okay, all right, let's go ahead and give it to the Republicans for a while. Then maybe they can dismantle it. And then we can bitch about you dismantled too much, and then we can build it again. But it's going to be, so it was kind of a feeling of saving face, and we couldn't continue to go in this rigid direction in terms of trade. But you have this real confusion going on here. Here is Zelensky. Hopes and fears, economic, they have to, somebody like Elon Musk is going to look at the economic burden. Is this going to be profitable for you? If so, how much? The profits, and then scholarship. Is it better for you to pursue it or not pursue it from a profits perspective? Would it have been better to have entered into peaceful business with the Ukrainians? Would that have been a more profitable than to have gone into war? The war is coming to an end. There are forces in play. I just don't think that it's going to turn out the way Russia wants. And I don't think that's my own imagination. You can see coming to an end because there's a Four of Swords moving in. This idea that Ukraine is older than Russia. You can't be our mother country because we're older than you are, right? So, wanting the Constitution, the ethos, Zelensky, the ethics, we are uniquely Ukrainian. It's an insane idea to have an overlord, another country, come in to oversee your country. We don't need you to do that for us. The hopes and fears. They don't want to be the orphan of Europe, constantly depending on handouts. Zelensky wants to be militarily independent. But you can see here, scholarship leads to the end of the war. So that would lead me to think that Chariot, the movement. I just don't feel that Trump is going to be able to pull troops to end this war as easily as he thinks he can, because Ukraine is much stronger. Russia is very weak right now. Russia has been deeply weakened. The fight, you can see here, this is Ukraine. There's no deal with Zelensky. Zelensky believes that they can make it for at least a couple of years. They might be able to survive the Trump administration. I think they're going to have to negotiate. Look at this, a peace deal. Zelensky, a peace. The only way that this is going to happen is peace treaty and NATO coming in, which is what everybody has said is going to come in, which is what it always looks like when you do a remote view, is NATO coming in. It's inevitable, or it just goes on and on and on and on and on and on. Yeah. Diddy's party brought out the Democratic Party. No, it didn't bring out the Democratic Party. What it brought out was the nature of predators. That what predators do is that they will try to present themselves as a cover. And this is not that Democrats are rapists, but that rapists try to present themselves as nice guys. And so when we look at Republican men versus Democratic men tend to be more supportive of women's rights, et cetera, et cetera. So if you were a psychopath trying to fool people, you would act like you really care about women's rights. And that's exactly what Weinstein did. He talked about empowering women, and women are great, and women's movement, women's march stuff. It wasn't that they believed in this stuff. It was the way to cover up what they were doing. There's a couple good books to read on that subject of how people will cover their tracks by presenting themselves as something that they aren't. The 48 Laws of Power is a really great book that you can start with, written by Robert Greene when he was an assistant to a film producer in Hollywood, and he used to see all of the evil things that people in positions of power do in order. And Me Too is just one example. But the first rule is to present yourself as a nice person, going to all of the right political events and presenting yourself as politically correct. And it's a Democratic town, so we have to act like Democrats, and we have to. But what he saw underneath the facade was that these people could care less about women, hated women. And that was the point. It was the hypocrisy that he saw in Hollywood. Stop listening to someone who calls Musk her guru. Did I call him my guru? You know, it's an interesting conversation, right? What did this, can we learn from somebody who we have moral and ethical problems with? Bick. Listen to Sterling. Well, Sterling gets a lot of things wrong too, but to each his own. I mean, like, some people get things wrong, some people get things right, some people like some people's stuff, some people don't. But I have mixed feelings about Elon Musk. I think the reason why I'm drawn to him is because his character is very similar to Spider-Man or Batman. If you look at the way he has depicted himself, Elon Musk in his character development, is that he has praise singers, right? So famous people have praise singers where they get people to write about them, right? So that they're remembered in history as godlike people, right? An example of that would be Homer when he wrote about Odysseus, right? Who was probably a real soldier, but he had poets writing so that he would be remembered as like a god man. So what you see with somebody like Elon Musk is that he presents himself, his praise singers, as a god man. So does Putin. And that's just how you start a cult. But what do I think he should inspire in me, that I think that I can learn from him? Take your dreams seriously. That is the lesson that Elon Musk, if you see him as an influencer for you, the best thing that I would say about his influence on you should be that he teaches us to take our crazy dreams seriously, and don't let anybody tell you that your dream is crazy. If you want to go to the moon, if you want to go to Mars, if you want to be a prima ballerina at 90. So as a mentor, as somebody who he came into my life unexpectedly. He was not somebody that I looked to have a connection with. It was the decision of the universe that was the person that was going to support the Oasis. He happened to be there on October 27th. I happened to get it to Jonathan Conquest, the thesis, on the October 21st. And then a series of odd events took place that we now find ourselves in. So I think, a love of curiosity, a religion of curiosity, wanting to learn everything, sitting and reading the Encyclopedia Britannica when we're kids. but yeah, I think that that is the thing that we can all be inspired by Elon Musk, is this, that no matter how crazy your dream is, you will win or fail based on how seriously you take your dream. If you believe that you have the great novel inside of you, then you do. If you're willing to work 100 hours a week in order to manifest that dream, you will probably manifest that dream. But if you just want to think it's not going to happen, then it's not going to happen. So yes, in that sense, I respect that about him. So yeah, in a way, in that way, has been kind of a mentor and a guru. Absolutely. That doesn't mean I agree with him politically. I don't. But yes, and if you are willing to do the work, and I wish women, I think it's also a good role model for women, because at least I have found as a woman of a certain age is that our dreams and ideas are not taken nearly as seriously as young boys. At least that was my experience. If a little girl said, I want to fly to the moon, people usually laughed at her and said, you're weird. If a boy said, I want to fly to the moon, of course you can, little Tommy. So uh, I think it's important for women also to have mentors that teach them to take their dreams very seriously. Take your dreams very seriously, and then give your dreams the time and respect that they. Sorry about that. It disconnects. Oh, I think he is a kind of guru in the sense that I don't have a religion. So when Musk was asked, what is your religion? He said, curiosity. I thought, oh my God, I feel exactly the same way. That doesn't mean I don't, there are people that worship gurus and they think that they're God men. I don't believe that, but I definitely think that I respect anyone that takes their dreams seriously and makes them happen. You have to respect that, even if you don't agree with his political opinions. All right. Does Musk want Vance as president? Well, I think he owns the party. So Musk wants Vance scholarship. He wants it to be intellectual, also Queen of Swords. He wants it not to be sentimental or emotionally attached. He felt like Biden was losing his mind. He feels like there's a new beginning happening in the spring of the year, a brand new. He feels it's an intellectual and academic and a time of abundant creativity and production. He feels it will be an exciting time for intellectuals and cultural exchange and arguing of ideas. You can see Empress and the Hermit, so a very intellectual time because of Silicon Valley. And you can see Queen of Swords and the King of Swords going in there and just getting rid of waste, hopes and fears. He thought that Biden had lost it. He really did. And fighting exchange of ideas, passion, etc. By spring, he's what I would say over and over and over again to people is to take Elon Musk seriously. He's not going anywhere. This is his party. He owns it. And woe be it to they should not underestimate how serious he is about this. Yeah. All right. So I think we're just about done. Yeah. Oh, will the BRICS alliance become more powerful? Not anytime soon, but the BRICS alliance could be if we would stop these blockades. And this is the thing that Musk and other people want to come up it to come. It's enough already. It's the Democrats are too invested in blocking everything, and it's too much. That's basically Musk's argument. It's too much. It's too much regulation. We can't function down here. Um, Yeah, I think. I mean, I don't know what the answer is going to be. We do need to tear down a lot of unnecessary restriction. If it takes you 5 years to build a solar house, that's a problem. Maybe but I just don't know if I don't think that this is the way that a functioning democracy should operate. Oh my God. Yeah, this background is fake. This is not, I get a lot of opinions about my window, and I do love my window, but this is what I'm really behind. uh, when I'm mad at Elon Musk, I go up to the moon to pout. Yes, my mentor is a Nazi. No, my mentor is a fascist. What do I say? But this is, in fact, the person paying for my rebuild. So I didn't pick it. The universe picked it. You guys like flowers? I have called him. I think that what Elon Musk would say to all of you is that if you love Whimsy, and I know you do, trust me when I say that I'm going to get her plan up and operating a lot faster than the Democrats would. That's what Elon Musk would say to you. Do you guys like a more conventional film? Hello, this is Executive Psychic. Here I am with the ship's captain. There we go. There we go. Bottle of grub, but yes. Where I'm down here at the ship. I don't know why I got this extra rope there. I like the down in the ship's Yeah, there we go. There I'm a witch. Here's a witchy one for you. Here's another witchy one. That one's kind of nice. I think you guys all decided that this is your favorite. Is that right? Did I take your dream away? You were hoping that I was living in this beautiful hobbit home, which, by the way, inspires me. If I ever get rich and win the lottery, maybe I'll move to New Zealand and get one of those hobbit homes or something. Would that be nice? Well, I think that this is why people are not freaking out as much as why are people freaking out? Because it's not the same Republican Party, because the Silicon people came in, because a lot of the crazy people, they're going to control the old man. That's what the Republicans are promising us. They're going to control the crazy old man and hopefully get some good stuff done in the process, like getting business up and running and not having things be so it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. But it also, I think the thing that I would close with is this crazy idea that everything is going to become the burden of the state because they don't want the feds to have to pay for anything. And so assume that federal taxes will go down and state taxes will increase as they kick the can down the road and expect the states to pick up responsibility because give it to mama because baby boy don't want to make his bed, right? They expect that to play itself out in DC exactly like that. I didn't pick my mentor, did I? I mean, you guys tell me, did I pick my mentor? Did I pick my mentor? I witnessed on social media the massacres on October 7th, just like the rest of you, became hysteric, wrote the Oasis one, cried out to God, and told God, this is going to happen. You're going to give me Oasis one. And then I sent it to Jonathan Conquerus and I said, this has to happen. This must happen. This is going to happen. And he got it to the IDF War Cabinet. Can you imagine? The IDF War Cabinet is like, oh, this is that anthropologist sent this thing over. Oh, what do you think about this? What do you think about this? What do you, yeah, this makes a lot of sense. Oh, Elon Musk is here. Hey, Elon, you want to take a look at this? We just got this from an anthropologist. Here, take a look. It's exactly what you were talking about. It's the Marshall Plan. It's towards a new vision of Gaza. It's written by Dr. Whimsy Anderson. What do you think about? Oh, we should do that? But the UN and the Democratic Party, you just want us to plow through? Whimsy will forgive you in the morning because you didn't go Democrat? Trust me, Whimsy. Whimsy. You know, Whimsy. Do you want your rebuild? Do you want your rebuild? Do you want? Yes, I do want my rebuild. I do want peace in the Middle East. I don't want people dying. And well, if you want it, Whimsy, this is the fastest way to get it. No, they're not taking away Social Security. That's fake. They're taking away taxes. They are. They're going to try and take away taxes from people's tips, which puts a burden on Social Security. So they're going to have to try and come up with the money somewhere else. But no, they are not going to be dissolving Social Security. I did a remote on that last night. The biggest stain to their legacy is women's rights and the fact that they cut so many programs. It places insurmountable burden on the states. And if our state taxes are going to increase, then we're not saving taxes. We're just now increasing our state taxes. Our Fed taxes go down and then our state taxes increase. And so, look, we got Fed's taxes down. Yes, because you kicked the can down the road and gave it to the states. And now the states have to pay for the education. The states have to pay for these programs. And so kicking the can down the road is not necessarily the solution either. And that's my concern about the Republican Party. That and the fact that the church has too much control. Look, here's a positive spin. If I could close today with a positive spin, would you rather have libertarians and scientists and rationalists taking control of the Republican Party or evangelical Christians? I would rather have rationalists and scientists and green tech people taking over. I feel a lot better about this Republican Party than the other Republican Party. They still have the heritage nut jobs in there. They still have the crazy evangelicals in there, but it is not a perfect union by any stretch of the imagination. So it'll be interesting to see how they marry those two communities now that, I think it's going to be great for them financially. Like I said, California makes up a fifth of the world's economy, and that's with all those regulations. Imagine how much more powerful it would be if they streamlined some of the regulations and started to embrace the green tech out of California, which is what they're going to be doing, because it'll make Silicon Valley a ton of money, but it will also change the trajectory and the views of the Republican Party in the next couple of years. So hopefully all of that gives you guys some comfort. No, we haven't lost our democracy. We just have a crazy guy coming in. Do I think he will be able to finish his 4 years? It's possible. But if my dream is correct, then he's going to be removed because he acts crazy. That's basically what it said, was that he begins to be so insane that he's removed. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. If you're trying to get in for a tarot reading with me, you can find the information below. Or if you need to see me as a physician, you can also find that information below. I'm available through telemedicine. Be kind to all, so that all will be kind to you too. God bless. Peace out. And we'll see you next time. Bye, everyone. Bye-bye.